They thought I'd fold like I always had. My daughter with her tears, my son-in-law with his fake business plans, demanding $400,000 by the next day. But instead of writing another check, I flipped the script. By noon, they didn't get cash. They got a package that ended their entire lifestyle. If you've ever been underestimated or had someone treat your kindness like weakness, you'll feel this story in your bones. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and share your own stories in the comments, because nothing feels sweeter than justice finally being served. Let's dive in. My name is Daniel Mercer. I'm 62 years old, living in Dallas, Texas. For decades, I ran a group of car dealerships. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady, profitable, and it gave me the ability to give my daughter Claire the kind of life I could only dream of at her age. Every parent knows that strange ache wanting your child's life to be easier than yours was. For years, I was the family ATM, college tuition, covered, wedding expenses, my checkbook, down payments on houses, business loans that were never repaid. All of it came from me. At first, I told myself it was love, helping my daughter, Claire, and her husband, Alex, succeed. But it wasn't love, it was enabling. And enabling is poison. Slowly, they stopped seeing me as a father, and more like a never-ending trust fund with no strings attached. Alex was the worst. He talked about money like it was a poker chip, something you could risk and double overnight. He called his business ideas investments, but they were just gambles. 3 failed ventures in 5 years. A real estate flip that collapsed before drywall even went up. A consulting firm that never actually consulted anyone. And the biggest one, his can't-lose crypto scheme. I warned him, but he sank it anyway. Each time he came back with another polished speech, another signed promissory note that looked official. Each time, the money evaporated. Claire, my little girl, treated money like it meant she never had to grow up. She didn't learn responsibility. She just learned how to cry at exactly the right pitch, just enough to make me believe she was desperate. She'd sit across from me, trembling lip, teary eyes, whispering, "Daddy, please, just this once." But just this once became a script. They got good at it. Too good. And I got good at ignoring the red flags. I told myself this is love. This is being a father. But love isn't supposed to feel like being bled dry. The cracks showed up in places they didn't think I'd look. Instagram posts of designer handbags, luxury trips, dinners with wine that cost more than my first car, while simultaneously calling me to say they couldn't make rent. Credit card statements that didn't match their "we're broke" sob stories. And then the texts. I saw them after one slip-up when Claire left her phone unlocked. Alex wrote, "Just give him the routine. He's a walking ATM." And Claire replied with a laughing emoji. That's when the illusion started to die. But the final blow came one evening. They showed up unannounced, walked right into my house, and sat down like they owned the place. Alex poured himself a glass of my scotch without even asking. Claire's voice was cold, rehearsed. They weren't requesting help this time. They were demanding it. $400,000 by noon tomorrow. And when I hesitated, Claire leaned forward, eyes sharp, and said, "Mom would have wanted you to. Don't embarrass us." Using my late wife as a bargaining chip, that was the moment something inside me broke. It wasn't rage. It was clarity. For the first time in years, I saw them not as my struggling children, but as predators who'd learned how to weaponize my kindness. What they didn't know was that I'd been preparing for this night for years. I wasn't just blindly writing checks. Every loan came with promissory notes. Every down payment had my name hidden in the deed. After the first time I caught Alex lying about money, I'd even installed discreet cameras in my own house. My lawyer, Michael, and I had a standing joke. Draft the nuclear option, just in case. Only it wasn't really a joke. We had files, contracts, trust documents. A prenup Alex had signed with a specific clause about gambling. I never wanted to use any of it. But that night, as they left my house expecting a check by tomorrow, I knew exactly what was about to happen. I called Michael. In minutes, the gears began turning. Bank accounts frozen where legally possible. The house title shifted into a trust they couldn't touch. Packets of evidence assembled, decades of receipts, text screenshots, surveillance clips, photos of Alex in casinos, and every signed promissory note. It was the equivalent of pulling the emergency brake on a runaway train. The next morning, I packed a bag and booked a flight to Costa Rica. But before I left, I placed a box on the porch with a note. You wanted it tomorrow. Here's what you get. At noon, Claire and Alex arrived. The cameras caught everything. They tore into the box, eyes hungry, already counting money that wasn't there. Instead, they found the deed proving the house was never legally theirs. A ledger documenting every single loan, gift, and transfer. Photos of Alex gambling. Their own mocking texts about bleeding the old man dry. And copies of those promissory notes with Alex's signature staring back at him. Within hours, their cards stopped working. The accounts were locked. The house gone. Their bluff collapsed in real time. Alex disappeared. Claire tried everything lawyers, public tantrums, begging voicemails. But Michael had prepared every angle. The paperwork was airtight. The creditors closed in. It didn't take months. It took weeks. The luxury cars were repossessed. Designer bags sold for pennies. The curated Instagram lifestyle evaporated. Claire went from champagne brunches to clocking double shifts, Nordstrom by day, a diner by night. And you know what? For the first time in her life, she learned. She learned to cook instead of ordering in. She learned to budget. She learned the sting of working until your feet ache. She even opened a savings account and started reading personal finance books. I didn't gloat. I didn't call. I disappeared into Costa Rica, teaching English, learning Spanish, and finally feeling peace. I wasn't rescuing anyone. I was finally rescuing myself. 5 months later, I came back quietly. I didn't announce it. I went to the Nordstrom store where Claire worked. I hardly recognized her thinner, humbler, moving with a focus I'd never seen before. She wasn't perfect, but she was trying working double shifts, budgeting, and for the first time in her life, learning instead of leaning on me. Later, we sat in her tiny studio kitchen. No theatrics, no tears, just two people finally being honest. She admitted she'd once wished me dead for cutting her off. I told her the truth. I chose something harder. I chose to stop being your safety net. And in that silence, for the first time in years, I felt like maybe I had a daughter again. I didn't hand her money. I handed her a chance. And for once, she earned it. A real job teaching financial literacy in a community program I was funding. She signed a contract, clocked in, earned her pay. It wasn't a rescue, it was respect. And slowly, Claire earned her way back to being someone I could trust. Alex never came back, and honestly, that was the best part of all. Revenge doesn't always look like fireworks. Sometimes it's just stopping the cycle, stopping the lies, and letting people face the weight of their own choices. So let me ask you, what's the hardest boundary you've ever had to set with someone you love? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit you like it hit me, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear that it's okay to stop enabling. Because sometimes walking away is the sweetest revenge.